9 News at noon starts right now.
We start with breaking news regarding the war in Gaza. Israeli leaders say their military has killed the leader of Hamas. Thanks for joining us for 9 News at noon. I'm Tom Green. Troops apparently ran across Yahya Sinwar in a battle in Gaza and later discovered that a body in the rubble was a man that Israel had been hunting for more than a year. Authorities say that DNA tests on the body confirmed it was him. Sinwar, considered to be one of the chief architects of the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel last year. Here in Colorado, the owners of the Molly Kathleen gold mine, the site of that deadly elevator malfunction last week, have now been handed a cease and desist letter. The Colorado Division of Reclamation, Mining and Safety sending that letter, prohibiting the mine from reopening until its review of the mine is done. A tour operator for them, Patrick Wire, was killed. Dozens of tourists had to be rescued from the mine. The inspections at that mine are done yearly. The latest one done before the accident had come back as satisfactory with no violations or hazards being found. In Littleton, people gathered to honor and remember a middle schooler who was killed a year ago today. A car hit and killed 13-year-old Liam Stewart while he was riding his bike to class not far from Euclid Middle School. Today, his parents set up a rally, march, and bike ride, all in an effort to try to bring more attention to street safety. Since that day, 1 year ago, there has been a small change made to the area in the form of barriers around the bike lane. However, Liam's parents say it's not yet enough. They're calling for better road designs and improvements that would help both bikers and people walking, not just around the school, but throughout Littleton as well. Of course, they're hoping that Liam's story will help to spark change.
The recognition that the kids, it really is, they're the most important part of our community. We need to protect them at all costs. We need to be able to get them to school safely because every child has the right to get to school safely.
There was a bench dedication in Liam's honor outside of Littleton's Bemis Public Library. Everyone who showed up also wore red. That was Liam's favorite color. A trial date has now been set for the dentist in Aurora accused of poisoning his wife. This comes after delays and a change of attorneys. Police arrested James Craig back in March of 2023. That was just days after Angela Craig's death. Police say James bought poison online weeks earlier. They believe he killed his wife by poisoning her via a protein shake. He has pleaded not guilty, but has told other inmates that his wife had poisoned herself. Jury selection is set for next month, opening statements on December 2nd. A death in a CSU dorm room remains under investigation. This is what we first told you about, that investigation on campus yesterday when we came to you at noon. Officers were called to Alpine Hall for a welfare check yesterday morning. That's when they found an unresponsive person. Medical crews later confirmed that the person had died. Police have not yet released the person's name or even saying if they were a student. But then last night there was a shelter-in-place order for a separate incident on campus, an aggravated assault with a knife. CSU saying that a man hurt someone near Laurel Hall a little before 8 o'clock and then left campus. The victim had minor injuries. The suspect has not been arrested. Fans across the world continue to mourn the sudden death of former One Direction singer Liam Payne. This after he fell from the 3rd floor of a hotel in Argentina yesterday. Police said in a statement that they were called to that Buenos Aires hotel after being notified of a, quote, aggressive man who could be under the effects of drugs and alcohol. They say when they arrived, the hotel manager reported loud noises coming from the inner courtyard and that police found that a man had fallen from the balcony of his room. That's what the statement said. In an audio recording, one hotel worker was heard saying, quote, when he is conscious, he is destroying the entire room. You need to send someone. Liam Payne was 31 years old. Some snow already fell in the high country today. Take a look at our camera and Telluride. Of course, here in Colorado, we're still talking about dry conditions and elevated fire risk. So let's talk about all of that with Kathy Sabin and the 9 News Weather Impact team. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, Tom. Yep, we've got a pretty good storm coming in for the weekend. And so the timing and impact of this storm system will mean slick travel on those mountain passes, mountain snow accumulation above 9,000 feet, and cooler weather with showers for Denver between Friday and Sunday. So this storm system will be significant in that accumulating snow will impact your travel and your plans if you're headed to the Colorado high country. We do have a partly cloudy day out there. The clouds clouds on the increase ahead of a storm that is moving into the state. And that storm is prompting some advisories for snow. Heavy accumulating snow is expected in the San Juan Range, the La Garita Range, and we're going to be looking at the snow measuring well over a foot above 9,000 feet. Now, ahead of it, gusty southwest winds have prompted a red flag warning for high fire danger east of Denver through eastern Adams and Arapahoe counties, through Fort Morgan and up to the Sterling area. This winter storm watch will be impactful in that above 9,000 feet, we could be looking at not just 20 inches of snow, maybe up to 30 and 40 inches of snow over some of those higher passes. Temperatures today comfortable in the mid-60s along the Front Range, 40s in the mountains this afternoon. Really watching that wind forecast as that's just drying out the moisture headed into Colorado for now. So the weather headlines include the fact we're tracking that Friday storm, a red flag warning ahead of a storm that will bring significant mountain snow. I'll have the timing and impact of this storm coming up in Maine Weather, Tom, in just a bit.
Thank you, Kathy. Well, they've done the math. The Colorado Department of Revenue now detailing how much you can expect in next year's TABOR refund. This year, single filers will see between $177 and $565. For joint filers, it's double that, between $354 and $1,130. It all depends on your gross income. Those refunds ticketed to come your way next year after you file your taxes. Performers at Casa Bonita pushing for the chance to unionize. The workers say they need a safer working environment, so they're pushing for better compensation, scheduling, and communication. A union that represents talent on Broadway and at Disneyland says that cliff divers, actors, puppeteers, magicians, other crew members at the Lakewood restaurant are now pushing to join. In a statement, the restaurant management says Casa Bonita values all its employees and their safety and believes they are treated well and compensated fairly, adding, "We respect the rights of our employees and believe they should be entitled to vote on whether they are subject to a union."